Hello and welcome to this practice of Hatha Yoga for pregnancy. At this stage in your life, I really want to encourage your greatest strength and stability while also offering within the practice a little stretch and relaxation as well. So in this practice, I'm going to refer to using some props to keep you safe and stable. These are going to be the bolster, 2 blocks. You might like cushions, blankets for comfort, and even an eye pillow. The other thing we're going to use is a stool or chair, and I'm going to demonstrate that in this little table here. So if you've got a little sturdy table, stool, chair, ottoman, or otherwise, that would be useful for the practice too. So if you don't have that, pause this video and come back and join me in a moment. Otherwise, we're going to get started and in a comfortable seat. So please just take the time now to find a comfortable seat, and it might be just exactly where you are and you can stay there. Or you can get curious with these props that I'm suggesting that we use. So the first one, the bolster, I recommend a good idea can be to straddle the bolster. So in pregnancy, really looking to provide stability for the hips rather than anything that's going to strain or deeply stretch into that space. And a bolster can be something that is comfortable, but please find your way into something that you really like to sit in just for the next 5 minutes to come into the body and start the practice. So to start the practice, take the hands out to the sides, and as you inhale, raise and reach the arms up, take them up overhead. And then when you exhale, turn the palms out and bring them down beside you. And again, as you inhale, reach and raise the arms up, maybe close the eyes. Just be careful here not to lift the chest too much and dump into the lower back. When you exhale, bring the hands beside the body. Slowly release the shoulders down. One more round in your own time, in your own way. Might be that you keep the chin tucked in and just feel the lengthen the waist rather than the lift of the chest. When you exhale, bring the hands down into the heart, down to the side, and then to the heart space. The thumbs to touch within the sternum or the chest. You can have your eyes open or closed, whatever feels right for you. And just take a moment here just to reflect on your intention for practicing yoga and showing up to yourself here in these moments of self-care. What is your intention or purpose in practicing? And when we remind ourselves of our intention, it can help to deepen the practice and even direct the outcome of the practice. It doesn't matter if you don't have one or you're not working with one at the moment. Something might arise for you later. The hands are touching. Notice the feeling within the palms, the warmth and the texture. And then begin to rub the hands, create heat in the hands, light, force, energy, or prana. You're in control here. You can do a little or a lot, vigorously rubbing to create a lot of heat or otherwise. Okay, now release the hand, left hand to the chest, right hand to the belly, and just hold here for a moment. Feel the sensation in the hands, tingling with life force. And bring that intention of tingling and energy into the space that you're touching gently in the body. And feel that reciprocated. The energy, the life force in the heart beating and the center of the chest. And the life force of creation in the womb space, under the hand in the belly. Please bring the hands back together, palms touching. And as you exhale, soften the shoulders away from the ears. We're going to inhale and chant Om together. Inhale now. Om. Feel that vibration moving through the body and stay aware of the body, the sensations. And very gently bowing the head down and start to blink open the eyes to invite light back in. Looking down at the body and the floor. And then begin to release the hands and just gently leaning forward and coming off the prop and onto hands and knees on your yoga mat. So we are going to use the props, have those nearby. I recommend the bolster just to the side for now. If you had sore knees, you could bring a blanket underneath the knees. So we're just coming onto hands and knees here on your yoga mat. And your hands or wrists underneath the shoulders and your knees placed underneath the hips. Just get comfy here with the hands pressing down and the tops of the feet pressing down. And your knees might need to come out a little wider for this one. And as you grow, your baby grows, you might find the knees take a little further out from the hips. So just move as you need to here. And as you exhale, take the buttocks back toward the heels. Just a little, elbows might come down. And then inhale, leaning forward again. This is just a rocking. Inhale to rock forward and your exhale to rock back. Really slowly. Might even like to close the eyes and just feel this movement, just really intimately noticing how you're feeling as you lean forward into the hands and the wrists. And when you exhale, notice how it feels for you in the hips, knees, maybe ankles. Just going one more round. And when you exhale, big toes to touch this time. Knees may come a little bit wider. And sitting the buttocks all the way down, reach the hands back and lift the torso up. We're just going to set up here for a forward fold. And depending on the size of your baby, you're going to need to adjust with some props here. So bringing the bolster out in front and a block or even 2 blocks to prop up the bolster. So just going to need a little bit more height here for the bolster and out in front. You can play around with that coming forward or further back. So with the knees about hip distance or a little wider, but not too wide here, please, so that you can keep the pelvis nice and stable. So inhale, lift the chest here. And then when you exhale, walk the hands forward, reach forward, and then fold the chest down just to wherever is comfortable for you. So this is where you'll bring the bolster in to where is comfortable. And you'll obviously avoid pressing the belly on the bolster. You're going to create space here between the thighs and the bolster for your belly as you forward fold. And rest one cheek down onto the bolster, looking in one direction or closing the eyes. And resting here for a moment or two. As you exhale, encourage, stretch in the back with the buttocks drawing toward the heels. And with every exhale, encourage a little more, relax and release. So the back can come into quite a bit of strain while you're in pregnancy, the lower back in particular. And this is discouraging the lordosis or the lumbar back bend and rather stretching and lengthening that space, which I hope feels nice for you. But if this is not feeling nice and goes for any part of the class, then you can change this shape or make this really unique with the use of the props in any other way. So good time to turn the head in the other direction now. So just gently lift the head and then turn to the other side so that you can stretch the other side of the neck and even that up for yourself. So you're staying here for another few breaths just to really relax and stretch into the lower back. And this is cooling and calming for your nervous system as well. You might begin to notice how the breath is feeling on the inhale and direct the breath to the back of the lungs. Feel the back of the chest lifting as you inhale and releasing and relaxing on the exhale. All right, we're going to begin to move again in a moment. So you can do that really slowly when you're ready. Or now bring the hands so that they're about underneath the shoulders and press to the hands as you lift yourself up and come up. You can sit the buttocks toward the heels, or sorry, lift yourself so that you're sitting on the heels, or hands and knees, and take away the props. Again, you'll use them again. And in particular, the blocks, please place those to the front of your yoga mat, even if you place one on one side and the other on the other side, to the top or the side, whatever's right, but just toward the top of the mat. All right, you can leave the blanket there if you've got that underneath the knees. And again, find your way to hands and knees under the hips, wrists underneath the shoulders. Okay, so Biddalasana with variation for pregnancy. We'll start with the exhale. Draw the navel in toward the spine, tuck the tail under, and lift the shoulder blades up toward the ceiling. There might be a limited movement here with your belly, but stretching again the back. And as you inhale, please just come to neutral. So usually we would lift the tail up here and draw the chest forward. You may like a little bit of that, but I caution you, just come to neutral. Exhale, tuck the tail under again. Lift the shoulder blades up and press the hands down and relax the neck. This should give a stretch between the shoulder blades. And then as you inhale, coming back to your neutral position, going to avoid back bends. So another one, as you exhale, press the hands, press the tops of the feet down, shoulder blades lifting up. Good job. And when you come to inhale again, back to neutral. This time, turn the toes under. Walk the hands just a little bit further forward, a hand span or even a bit less. Look to the hands and see that they are index finger pointing forward. Hands are at shoulder distance. The other fingers are splayed out to the sides. Begin to take the buttocks toward the heels. And then when you exhale, lift the knees up off the mat and send the sit bones high. Shift now so that the chin tucks to the chest and looking toward the feet. You might like now to pedal the heels out. So alternating the left and right heels, lifting and lengthening down. And offering again that stretch in the back of the legs. You're also stretching, if you are pedaling the heels, you're stretching the feet, the toes, the arches. And come to some stillness now, but bend the knees generously. Press the hands down to the floor. Lift the sit bones high. We're going to begin to walk the feet to the hands. So just be careful of that blanket in front of you. You can move it out of the way if you like. You might find here the hands need to come toward the feet. And the feet should probably be hip distance or even a little wider. So you've got space for the belly here. Your feet will not be together, most likely. You can relax the neck and bend your knees as much as you need to here. Now, the reason the blocks are at the top of the mat is if you're feeling there's no space between the belly and the thigh, you might need to lift yourself halfway up here, but still relax the neck and encourage any tension that you're feeling in your shoulders or your neck just to release down to the floor. Release here and let go as you stretch the back of the legs. All right, so I want to be really careful with the back, bending the knees, and sit toward a chair. Press the feet down, keep the back straight, and as you inhale, lift yourself up. Keep the arms and head heavy, and then roll yourself up to come up to stand. Good job. Find Tadasana, mountain pose at the top of the mat facing forward. Hands to the hips, look to the feet, looking down at the feet, and lift the toes up here. As you lift the toes up, spread them wide, press the balls of the feet down, the outside edges of the feet down, and feel the arches lift up. Now slowly bring the toes down to the floor. Maintain the lift of the arches, so no gripping the toes, and kneecaps lifting up, quadriceps switched on, hands now releasing, so the fingers pointing down, and the crown of the head lifting up toward the ceiling. I'd like you to feel really tall, like a mountain. Tadasana, mountain pose. You can close your eyes or just look to the horizon. Good job. Okay, and begin to release yourself. You're at the top of the mat. The blocks are also at the top of the mat, and they are separated for your use in Surya Namaskar. You can keep the blanket there or take it away, about in the middle of the mat if you were using that for your sore knee. Okay, Tadasana mountain pose. As you exhale, turn the palms forward. And inhale, take the arms out to the sides and reach them up overhead, looking forward though. Exhale, forward fold, release the arms down, bend the knees so the feet could be hip distance apart here or wider. Inhale and come up halfway. Please use the blocks, or you can even use the stool that's in front, and hold here for a moment. Pressing the feet down, lengthen the tailbone away, and avoid that banana back shape. So the tailbone is almost trying to tuck under here, and the crown's drawing forward rather than the tail lifting up. As you exhale, release the chest down, the hands to the floor, and then take the right leg back deep into the mat, and then bring the right knee down, and please take a hold of the block. The left foot, the block on the inside of the left foot, and the other block in the right hand. So you're using these two blocks in your lunge position, and you need a little bit more space for the belly in your pregnancy. So in here, your lunge, the left knee and left ankle aligned, blocks on the inside. As you inhale, lift the chest forward. Good, and hold here. So plant the left foot down. Really feel active with the left foot. And you'll feel this switching on of the muscles at the back of the left thigh, and a bit of a stretch in the right hip flexor, the front of the right thigh. If that's feeling a little sore, if you have pelvic instability, I strongly recommend coming up a little bit here, lifting your shape up, and you're using the blocks as you need them on the higher edge if you're lifted up. All right, so we're going to begin to release. Still use the hands to the block. Take the left knee back and into the blanket or next to the right knee. Big toes to touch. Sit the buttocks in toward the heels. Reach the hands forward here. Hold for a moment and then inhale, come up onto hands and knees. Turn the toes under. Lift the knees up off the mat. Send the sit bones high. If you like, you can pedal the heels out, or even come up onto the tippy on the toes as you inhale, and exhale, draw the heels down to the floor. And another round. As you inhale, lift up to the toes, and then exhale, draw the heels down. One more round with the breath. Inhale, lifting up. This time as you exhale, heels down, open the mouth and sigh. Good, and begin to walk the feet to the hands or hands to the feet, whatever feels right for you. And coming again in your forward fold with the wide stance of the feet if you needed that. Relax the neck, use the blocks to halfway if you needed that. And then shift a little bit of weight now to the heels as you bend the knees. Scoop the tailbone down, so sit bones draw down. Reach the arms out as you inhale, lift up, reach up, chin in, and then exhale, hands to the heart space. Hold for a moment, release the arms, and find Tadasana, mountain pose. Exhale, turn the palms forward. Inhale, raise and reach up. Exhale, release and forward fold. Inhale, lift the heart so your spine is straight. And then when you exhale, take the left leg back, the left knee down to the floor, wriggle the right foot out to the side and take the blocks under the hands and the right ones on the inside of the right foot so that you've got that space here for the belly in this gap. As you inhale, draw the chest forward, press the right foot down and holding here. So remember, you can lift the shape up as much as you need to offer more stability into the hips rather than a deep stretch. So, and that is the reason we're using the blocks. And so definitely something I encourage is unique for you and holding so that you can encourage here this strengthening in the legs while stretching. And we'll begin to move again. So keep the blocks where they are. As you exhale, take the right knee back. Sit the buttocks down. Reaching forward. Release the blocks away. Come back to hands and knees. Turn the toes under. Down face dog as you exhale. And hold in your dog. Relax the neck. You can bend the knees as much as you need to, and you'll feel then that your hamstring muscles can relax and you can lift the sit bones a little higher here, and then maybe even lengthen the heels to the floor. Remember, relax the neck, press the floor away. And as you inhale, feel a little lengthening in the spine as the lungs fill. And when you exhale, really engage the sit bones a little higher. Okay, begin to walk the feet to the hands or the hands to the feet, whatever you need. Feet separated again in your forward fold. Relax the neck. Weight to the heels as you exhale now. Sit to the chair. Inhale, reach out and up. And exhale, hands to the heart. And hold. Thumbs into the sternum. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Notice how you're feeling. Might notice the heart beating. If you felt up to it, you could do another round of the Surya Namaskar. I discourage creating too much heat in the body during pregnancy, but if you're feeling like you need to shift a bit more energy, if you're feeling lethargic, then I encourage another round of Surya Namaskar. However, we're going to do a balancing pose and a series standing, and you won't need the blanket onto the middle of the mat anymore. So coming to the top of the mat, and this is where you will use, I've got this little table, I'm going to call it nearly a little bit like a stool. You can use a chair, stool, table, ottoman if it hasn't got wheels. All right, so you're going to place that at the top of the yoga mat, and then please come so that you're just away from that now in front. All right, so back to Tadasana, looking down at the feet. So staying facing where you are, or just turn to face you. And then shift a little bit of weight now into the left foot. Shift weight to the left foot and begin to turn the right hip out and bring the right heel to rest onto the ankle. Find a spot out in front here or out to the horizon and focus on this. So really plant the left foot down and a little bend in the left knee that you feel. I shouldn't see that though. It's just a little micro bend. And you can stay here if you're feeling a little wobbly with your balance. And that would be completely natural in pregnancy with your center of gravity really shifting. So please stay here and take care. Or you might choose to bring that right foot into the calf. And that might be somewhere where you stay focused onto that point out in front. And if you felt like your balance was doing really well, then you could bring the right knee in toward the chest, open the hip out, and press the right foot into the inner left thigh. As much as you do that, press the left inner thigh into the foot so that you're really stable again into the pelvis. No need to force that right knee out to the side too much, holding here or finding the variation that works for you. I'm close to a wall, which would be useful. If you fell, I would really caution that you would find a variation to avoid falling, please, or use a wall. Tree pose, grounding that left foot to the floor. And if you like, raising the arms, reaching the arms out, lifting the chest up and holding here. You can bring the hands above your head with the elbows bent if you like, or keep extending the arms like branches of the tree. And we're just holding that one now for another couple of breaths, and you can release at any time. Bring the hands down into the heart space now. Lift the right knee up toward the chest. And then when you exhale, step the right foot back just as far as feels comfortable for you, with the right foot grounded to the floor. So heel to heel alignment, or heel to arch, whatever feels right for you. All right, so the back toes turning in slightly, and that back hip will go in exactly the same direction. Just let that happen. No need to force anything there. So a short stance will be a little bit more stable for the hips, or if you like a deeper stance, feel free to wriggle that front foot forward if you need to. Raise the arms to shoulder height, palms facing down, and look down that front hand. When you inhale, bend into that front knee and holding here with a lunge in the left knee as you press to the outside edge of the right foot, pressing the feet down to the floor. This is Virabhadrasana 2, warrior shape, looking down that front hand, and feel the length between the fingers, the hands, the arms, stretching in opposite directions. Job. Holding here and breathing. This is excellent for strengthening the legs, for stamina and focus. All right, so come back now, hands onto the hips, straight legs. We're coming into Trikonasana now, where we will use that stool. So that front foot needs to be close to that stool. Just rearrange if you need to. And again, the leg setup is exactly the same. So it's a fairly short distance that I'm demonstrating, and that is what I recommend for pregnancy. Raise the arms to shoulder height. Legs are straight this time. Inhale, reach the left hand out and up. Then when you exhale, bring the left hand down and rest it onto the stool. Reach the right arm up and the fingers to the ceiling, or just to it wherever it feels comfortable, or it could be onto the back hip for you. So we're looking here for the left rib cage to spiral up toward the ceiling, and the chin can tuck in toward the chest, looking down, or even begin to look up. So this is going to be a challenge as you stay here now for the oblique muscles. So there is some strengthening here happening in the core, strengthening in the legs. Keep pressing the feet down. And this is something that I would suggest to encourage stability in the torso, legs, and stamina. But if it's not feeling right, please back it up and come out when you're ready. Okay, last breath here. When you exhale, turn the chin down. And then bring that right hand down, raise the left arm up and flip. The left hand reaches up and feel the stretch now in that side of the body. All right, so come back to center, hands to the hips, turn on the back toes, step the back foot through into Tadasana mountain pose and hold. Holding your mountain pose, grounding the feet and feeling the energy moving through the body. And you're staying at the top of the mat, but you may need to rearrange yourself just a step away, just slightly for our tree pose, away from the stool. And this time shifting weight over to the right side. So begin to shift the weight to the right side, open the left hip, bring the left heel to rest onto the ankle. Holding here, find the spot out in front. So this is the dristi or focal point. And you can remain looking down or out in front with a gentle variation, or find now the left foot into the calf. And if that felt okay, then you should stay there if this is good for you. If you're wanting a little bit more today, left knee in toward the chest, open the hip out, bring the foot to the inner thigh and press that right inner thigh into the foot so that you've got that really stable at the hip rather than sagging out to the side. Using the wall if you need to, if you were close by, or if you were wobbly, then you would please try a gentle variation of this tree pose. Growing roots through your feet as you raise the arms, inhale and lift the chest, extending the fingers. Keep breathing. If you like, the hands can come overhead and bend the elbows. Everything's optional. Your practice is really special. It's unique to you. Good. So staying where you are, or release when you need to. And now bring the left knee forward and up and step the left leg back with the hands now into the heart. So I'll stay this side. So the left leg is back, the right leg is forward, and the legs, you've got about a leg's length in distance. Now the toes turning in slightly. So you've got a little opening here out to the side, but that back hip is going to want to go the direction of the toes. Let that happen. Raise the arms to shoulder height, palms facing down. Bend into the front knee as you inhale and maintain the shoulders and hips aligned. So the bend in the knee would just be as far as stacking over the heel and not too far. So you've got a deep flexion in the knee. And if you felt like you had a bit more space, you could step that right foot further forward if you like. For a deeper warrior two. If you had a sore neck, you can just look to the middle or looking down that front hand and feeling that opening in the front of the shoulders, the drawing of the shoulder blades down the back. A little squeezing of the inner thighs in toward each other as you press the feet down. Good, good job. And then we'll begin to release with the hands to the hips, straightening the legs. Remember, we're going to use the stool. So just arrange yourself if you need to, arms at shoulder height. Reach that right arm up as much as you can and out, lengthen the waist, and then bring that right hand down. Keep the chest turned to the side as you lift the left arm up this time. Chin tucks in, looking down or looking up. So the reason I'm not suggesting to come all the way down is I'd like to, first of all, encourage a gentle engagement of the oblique muscles and the deep abdominal muscles. And as you are heavier into the belly, you may even fall forward, lose your balance, or even put a little bit too much pressure into that right knee. So you're doing really well. Keep breathing. Last breath here. Looking down as you exhale and come on back up. Right arm raises. Flip the palm, reach it up. The left hand comes down the back of the thigh. You can look down or look to the raised arm and then come on back. Hands to the hips, turn on the back toes, step the left foot forward and hold here. Hands to the heart, thumbs touching the sternum, eyes closed or looking forward. And notice how you're feeling. The heart pumping, the blood moving, and the breath flowing, and you observe the breath changing its pace. It's perfect for this moment. So just begin to look down again. And I've moved my stool forward. So if you have, you may need to move that back now. So you've got some space again. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, release and forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step both feet to down face dog. And hold for a moment as you press the floor away. Lengthen the sit bones high and then bring the knees down to the floor. Knees hip distance or a little wider, big toes to touch. Take the hands back as you sit the buttocks down and then bring your bolster in front of you again. So just take a moment now to encourage the stretch into the lower back again, and any variation that feels right for you is right. If you didn't feel like you needed the bolster, then you could feel free to lean forward without that. And eventually, as the baby grows, it might be something that you do use each time in your child's pose. This is a relaxing shape. And if it's not feeling relaxing, then you can find something else, of course. Return to the awareness of your breath, and with every exhale, encouraging a relax and release. Knowing that in times of movement in our Surya Namaskar and our standing poses, the breath can become a little more shallow, might even feel a little more forced. And in these moments of stillness now, you can use the exhale to relax and release and encourage your nervous system to likewise relax. You can turn the head in the other direction, becoming familiar with the breath and the use of the breath to relax and release is another really excellent part of the practice of yoga in connecting into the power of controlling the breath to control the level of stress in the body. Last couple of breaths here so you can relax the buttocks down and feel the stretch a little more in the lower back. And then we will begin to release. Hands under the shoulders, lift yourself up, coming up, walk the hands back, or your hands and knees if you had sore knees. And then moving the prop to the side. We will be using this straight away though. All right, so with your stool, I'd like you to bring that, or your chair, I'd like you to bring that onto your yoga mat. The other thing you could do is use a chair, the wall. And I'm going to show you how to do this in a moment. My table's a little big. We'll see how we go. But we will be using a chair, stool, or even the wall with this setup. So please arrange your bolster toward the back of your yoga mat. And we're going to prop that up to lift that up with the blocks, excuse me. So on the medium edge, one block toward the back, and then directly in front of that, please bring another block onto the low edge for stability. Okay, so your blanket to sit on, or you could use a cushion, and you could use the blanket for your body instead to keep you warm. And if you have your eye pillow, have that nearby. Come and sit onto the cushion. And this is going to help your back sitting on the cushion rather than straight to the floor. I'll explain that in a moment. So bringing your stool or chair in a little closer, and then hands to the sides, lift the chest to lengthen the spine. Feel the sit bones pressing down, and then slowly release yourself down so that you can lay and rest yourself onto the bolster. Okay, so from here you can keep the feet to the floor, or you can lift the feet so that they rest onto the stool. If you've got cushion, it'd be a great idea to cushion the stool or another blanket. And if you've got a chair, then you can rest your calves on that cushion in the chair and then settle in here. So the reason we're protecting your lower back with the cushion is if you were without the cushion, you will see and feel quite a back bend into the lumbar, the lower back. So we would like to discourage that because it's probably already strained with the additional weight of the belly, and lifting the buttocks as high as you need to so that you avoid any banana shape in the lower back. All right, you are elevated here with the head higher than the heart. If it doesn't feel like that to you, then I recommend another pillow under the head so the chin tucks in and the head is higher than the heart. And this is going to avoid any blood pressure related conditions that may emerge from an inversion, which, unless I'm working with you privately, I wouldn't recommend that we do at this stage. And using the eye pillow, you can really relax here with that, just gently over the eyes, arms out to the sides, or just close to the body. There's quite a few things going on here, and I've given you the options using all of the props. If something's not right for you, then you know that you can change anything, please. My invitation to you here is to be really supported with the spine lifted to avoid pressing into vena cava, which can happen when you're heavier laying on your back. Also encouraging you to be mindful of blood pressure with a head higher than the heart, while you get to enjoy the lift of the legs and the drawing down of fluid and blood flow into circulation, which can often in pregnancy be restricted. So I'd like you to find your way. If there's something else that you like to do instead, feel free to do that. Otherwise, we are going to stay here for another few moments so that you can generate the benefits of this relaxing shape that encourages the circulation and also encourages this opening in the front of the shoulders, which likewise can come drawing inwards in pregnancy as a result of the heavy belly. So with every exhale here in this supported shape, feel and sense the body relax and release a little bit more with every breath out. Feel and sense with every breath in, the body is nourished with fresh energy traveling on the air. When you exhale, you release the air and tension that you feel in the body, breath, and even the mind. Even though you're elevated here, if you were to ever feel any dizziness when you're laying on your back, that would definitely be a sign to release yourself. Otherwise, you'll remain here if you're comfortable now for the next few moments and deeply release. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. These moments of nourishing exactly what you need now. Remain here, even though at times the mind wanders off. Gently bring awareness back to the body, breathing, melting, and thriving. So another couple of breaths in the shape for you to deeply release. You can release instinctively, but I'm going to guide you carefully to come out of this shape. So if your legs were up on the chair or the stool, then just slowly bring them down, and you might now push the stool away, feet to the floor, so that you can feel grounded in this moment. And rather than pressing yourself straight up, roll out to the left side, deliberately to the left. Both knees will come out to the left, left elbow down, right hand on the front now, and then press the right hand to the floor. If you can, roll yourself up. The head comes up very last as you unfurl the spine here. Good job. All right, so we're going to complete the practice now with Shavasana, using some props and laying on the left side. So your bolster you will use toward the middle or the bottom of the mat. You will not need the blocks, I don't think. So you can take those, move those away. You'll need a cushion for your head, so something that's comfortable for your head. And depending on how long you'd like to be in your Shavasana, you may also need a blanket underneath the body, depending on what you're laying on. If that is a really firm surface, I recommend a blanket underneath the body so that you can pad these heavier parts of your body. You'll be laying down on the left side and using the bolster nearby. So come and lay down on the left side, head to the pillow, knees bent, and the left arm reaching out in front. You'll need your blanket and the bolster between the thighs, and this is going to offer you the stability into the pelvis. Okay, so you can just rest the right arm down wherever is comfortable for you, arranging yourself as you need to in your Shavasana. If you can, you might bring the eye pillow overhead. It just might be a little bit awkward on the side, and you might have a scarf instead that you use. So just take the time to find a comfortable position to lay in now so that you can really deeply relax. So laying on the floor on the back is contraindicated from the second trimester, and hence I suggest that you lay on the left side. It is deliberately on the left to avoid vena cava, which is the vein that runs from the baby into into the heart and encourages the circulation. If any time you were to feel faint laying down, if you chose on your back, then this would be a better option for you on the side. And with every exhale, feel the body relax. Feel the body become a little more heavy. And then get a sense of ease, a melting, and a surrender. These moments now relaxing will encourage the nervous system to find a place of peace